Welcome back. Today's problem involves conversion to parts per million. Here's the problem. A toddler is brought to the emergency department after ingesting household bleach. The toxicology lab rushes back an initial blood hypochlorite level of 0.012 gram per deciliter. The attending asks you, the on-call pharmacist, to convert this concentration to parts per million or ppm, so the team can compare it with published toxicity thresholds. Assume the sample's density is essentially that of water, which is 1 gram per milliliter. The question is, what is the blood hypochlorite concentration in parts per million? A, 12 parts per million, B, 120 parts per million, C, 1,200 parts per million, or D, 12,000 parts per million. Please pause this video and see if you can do this problem. There are different ways to do this problem. First of all, we have to remember that 1 deciliter equals 100 ml. So this is important to keep in mind. Now let's consider a couple of ways to do this problem. The first way is essentially say that this is 0.012 grams per deciliter, which is 100 ml. So we're gonna keep everything in ml when we consider parts per million. And essentially we're going to see how much that is if we consider 1 million ml. So I'm going to put 1 million here. And you simply solve for x. So essentially we can say that, there are 2 zeros. There are 2 zeros with ml. So I'm going to remove 2 zeros on the 1 million side. So there are 4 zeros here. So essentially I'm going to move the decimal place of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you get x equals 120, which is parts per million. So this is perhaps the fastest way to do this, but is not the only way. So here is another way to do it. So we're going to call this B, and I'm going to change the color. So essentially, in order to do this, we're going to use the idea that if you have 1 milligram per liter, this is the same thing as 1 parts per million. So in other words, all you have to do is convert from 0.012 gram per deciliter to milligram per liter, and that is essentially your parts per million. So what we do is that essentially you say 0.012, multiply it by 10, because this is grams per deciliter. You multiply it by 10, and that gives you essentially gram per liter. So you get 0.12 gram per liter. And then the next thing is you want to convert the gram to milligram. So you will say 0.12 gram per liter. You multiply it by 1,000. Because there are 1,000 milligram per gram, and that will give you 120 milligram per liter, which is the same thing as 120 parts per million. So there are different ways to do it. I personally think that the first method is a lot faster, especially when you have limited time on an exam. But whatever works best for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.